Ciao everyone and welcome back to another episode of Learn Italian with Songs. Today we keep going with our travel through the participating songs in Sanremo Music Festival 2025. Namely, today we are going to talk about Damme, Mano by Tony Effe. As usual, we are going to start by explaining the title. And the first thing I have to tell you about the title and the song is that not everything is Italian, because the song, title Comprehended, is in good portion in a dialect, which is Romanesco. Romanesco is the dialect spoke in Rome and generally in Lazio. Hi. Always remember that in Italy we have dialects usually divided per region, but we have specific variation usually related to specific cities and their sphere of influence, so the nearby towns. So this is Romanesco because it is typical from Rome, but there are similar dialects in the whole of Lazio. Now, luckily, from a certain point of view, Romanesco is quite close to Italian. In fact, we have several standard Italians. The most used are standard Italian based on Milan accent, on standard Italian based on Florence accent and dialect, and standard Italian based on Roman accent and dialect. So, for example, due to this, Romanesco is closer to Italian than Napoletano. We saw, in fact, how different Napoletano can sound and be written. Also concerning the written part, it is always a struggle to write dialects because they are mainly oral, so spoken languages. But at least the Romanesco, it is easier under a certain point of view, and I'll show you why. So, what does Damme una mano means? Give me a hand, which the Italian equivalent would be dammi instead of damme. Una, in Romanesco many words are cut, so instead of una we have na, and mano is the same. So instead of having in Italian dammi una mano, we have in Romanesco damme una mano, okay? Give me a hand. This song belongs to the album Icon, and as usual I have a statement by the artist, Tony Effe. I got it in Italian and I translated in English. Tony Effe says, "With this song, I pay homage to the city that gave me everything, Rome. I address her because the city is feminine. Città, in Italian, la città is feminine. So often cities are personificated as women. As I was saying, Tony Effe says, I address her as if she were a woman I am in love with. If this song were a dish, it would be un'amatriciana. Amatriciana is a specific recipe, pasta recipe from Rome, which is still very popular in Rome. That said, let's start with the intro, diving into the lyrics. Io non soffro per te. I don't suffer for you. Non so fare l'attore. I don't know how to be an actor. In Italian, when you are an actor, by job, by passion, as you prefer, you can say io sono un attore, masculine, io sono un'attrice, feminine. But you can also say, and this applies to other jobs, io faccio l'attore or io faccio l'attrice, because it is less about what you are and more about what you do. And here Tony Effe preferred using the verb fare, to do. Sono pronto a sbagliare, I'm ready to make mistakes, come un uomo d'onore, like a man of honor. A quick note concerning this uomo d'onore, because in Italian, to be a man of honor, so essere un uomo d'onore, is another way to say that you are a mafioso, that you are belonging to an organization concerning mafia. In fact, when rappers or singers refer to mafia or other similar organizations, or define themselves as uomo d'onore, it is quite problematic still today. In many countries outside of Italy, but in Italy itself, we have the problem where mafia is romanticized like something cool. Same logic a bit with what is happening nowadays with the Yakuza, the main criminal organization operating in Japan. And this applies to other criminal organizations. So we have people in the culture and from outside the culture romanticizing these criminal organizations. However, this is problematic because, at least I'm talking about Italy because this is my concern, mafia is still a problem. Yeah, maybe it's not directly mafia, it is 'ndrangheta or Camorra or Sacra Corona Unita, same organization. It is just this organization come from different regions. So the issue is that they still make victims. They still are a source of corruption and generally problems. So every time the idea of a mafioso is romanticized, is usually quite criticized. It happened also, for example, with the song of Tommy Cash, because in one of the lines he was mentioning this term. So here, of course, there was a criticism concerning how Tony Effe used this term in this expression in this line. Because, of course, the idea, the setting is a cool setting, like I'm a cool guy, oh my god, a bit dramatic. So, calling himself a uomo d'onore, so a mafioso, it is kind of hinting at the fact that it's something cool. Well, let me tell you, it is not. Spengo la sigaretta, I put out the cigarette. Spegnere, it is a specific collocation of Italian because we use the verb spegnere, which can be put out when we talk about a fire or something burning. And but also in other collocation expressions, not using the same translation in English. What am I meaning? I mean, for example, when we are talking about a fire, a cigarette, something burning, In English we use put out. However, when we talk about lights, we use turn off. So, please turn off the light in the bathroom. In Italian, however, we still use spegnere. And in fact, you can find this collocation when we usually mean to extinguish a light, okay, a source of light. It can be the light bulb, it can be a fire, it can be something burning because it generates fire. But usually when we want to communicate the idea of taking the light away from someone, or something, we use the verb spegnere. This is true also for metaphors. Italian, for example, has many ways to say that someone died. One of these ways, more elegant, to be more to pay more attention to the emotions, to the condition of the people who lost a beloved one, we can use the verb spegnere. Let's say, for example, someone has to publish the what in Italian is called necrologio, so the news that someone passed, that someone died, and we can write, for example, si è spento nella notte del 28 febbraio, and so on, which literally translates as it extinguished himself. It was not put out because spegnersi in that case is reflexive, but because in this case, what is the light taken away? It was the light as in the life, the soul, because when someone dies, they lose their light, okay? Which in this case is a representation of life. So this is an example of how you can use the verb spegnere. There are several verbs in Italian with different collocation, not always matching English. So I always invite you to check websites like Context Reverso, or for example also Word Reference, which is more like a vocabulary, because you can find the list of collocation or examples concerning how this verb can be used. And the verb spegnere, it is an interesting case that you can check out. Come la nostra storia. Literally, like our story. So, spengo la sigaretta come la nostra storia. I put out the cigarette like our story. What does it mean? Story, literally, in Italian, can mean a relationship. So, ho una storia con un tipo. I have a story, I have a relationship, I have a situationship with a guy. Avere una storia con qualcuno, to have a story with someone, means to have some sort of romantic relationship. Doesn't have to be by default a stable relationship. Can be what today we can call a situationship. It is colloquial and quite informal, and to be fair, pretty much the vibe of the lyrics is informal, okay, and colloquial. So the idea is that in this similitude is that I put out the cigarette just like I end our relationship, our situationship. And in this case, how can, usually you don't say spengo una storia, usually in this case we use finire. But it's a good idea because you take away the light from the relationship, so you end it, ok? Ogni notte è per sempre Every night is forever per le strade di Roma. On the streets of Rome. So let's do a quick recap because this intro will be relevant for the outro. Because the outro, you will see, it kind of mirrors the intro. So we have I don't suffer for you, I don't know how to be an actor, I'm ready to make mistakes like a man of honor. I put out the cigarette like our relationship, every night is forever on the streets of Rome. And then we have the first verse. E non fare la stupida stasera. And don't act stupid tonight. Tu non sei mai sincera. You've never been sincere. Tu sei pericolosa. You are dangerous. Io so che morderai la mela. I know you'll bite the apple. If this sounds a little bit misogynistic, well, you are not the only one thinking that. In fact, Tony Effe was accused of misogynistic lyrics. However, in this one, it is more contained, if you will. There was also a whole debate on why he was invited at the Sanremo Music Festival. We are going to talk about it in the discussion. Back to the lyrics. Fare la stupida, feminine, or fare lo stupido, masculine. I translated it as act stupid. The meaningful translation would be to play dumb. Okay. In English, in fact, we have this idiom, to play dumb, while in Italian we have fare lo stupido or fare la stupida. While in English it is used the verb to play, in Italian it is used the verb to do or to make. That's why I translated it as to act. Tu non sei mai sincera, you've never been sincere, tu sei pericolosa, you're dangerous, io so che morderai la mela. I know you'll bite the apple. Because these three lines are closed by this metaphor in a certain way, not really. But basically here Tony Effe is hinting at Eve. So at Eve making the biggest mistake and biting the apple, ok? Ma di noi cosa direbbe Califano? But what would Califano say about us? Well, who is Califano? Franco Califano was an Italian lyricist, composer, singer, songwriter, author, and actor. And why is Tony Effe mentioning Franco Califano? Because Franco Califano is a persona, a person and a persona deeply related to Rome. Both for he was also a poetry writer, and the majority I don't know because I don't know his work that well, but I know that there are many of his poetries that are in Romanesco. Romanesco that is used in this song, for example, in the pre-chorus and the chorus, exactly to show his relationship with Rome, how attached he was to Rome. So Tony Effe is mentioning him in a context where he's basically speaking to Rome, ok? Che è durato troppo poco, that it lasted too little. what would happen between us. So basically, between the artist and the city of Rome. Cammino sui San Pietrini. I walk on the cobblestones. Now, I had to translate it as cobblestones because it's the closest things I have to give you. But un San Pietrino is a very specific type of rock that is paving, usually shaped as a cube, that is found in many squares in Italy, okay, or main streets of Italian cities. It is very resistant type of rock shaped as a cube used to pave several places in Italian cities. Why is it called San Pietrino? It comes from San Pietro and probably comes from the fact that St. Peter's Square, so la piazza di San Pietro in Rome, was and still is paved with this type of rocks. Fino a quando non te trovo, until I find you. So I walk on the cobblestone until I find you. Now, why did I highlighted this? Because in Italian you would say fino a quando non ti trovo, ok? While in Romanesco you say fino a quando non te trovo. It is very common this change, like in Romanesco you use often te instead of ti. So we see the first hint, the first sign of Romanesco. Also, fino a quando non ti trovo is an expression with the negation, but it means until I find you. Literally, until, fino a, quando, when, non ti trovo, I don't find you. This is the literal translation, but the meaning is until I find you. Then we have the pre-chorus, and the pre-chorus is in fact in Romanesco, which you see highlighted in blue. Damme una mano, instead of dammi una mano, give me a hand, from the title. Che c'ho nel cuore, instead of che c'ho nel cuore. In Romanesco you find a lot of else disappearing in favor of ars. Because I have in my heart, as usual, remember that c'ho in Italian and in dialect is strictly informal. It is colloquial and familiar. And of course, generally speaking, the dialect is colloquial and familiar. So it makes sense in the context. Solo una donna, instead of solo una donna, as I explained before, Romanesco has a lot of truncations. Only one woman, e una canzone, instead of e una canzone, and a song. So, give me a hand, as in help me, because give me a hand is, I don't remember if there is this idiom also in English, but at least in Italian, give me a hand means give me some help. No, okay, Tuscan dialect, Milanese dialect, and Roman dialect are not that bad. Like, they are quite easy to understand because of what I explained at the beginning. So we have give me a hand, so give me some help, help me, because I have in my heart only one woman and one song. And of course, Tony Effe is talking about Roma. Non conta niente. No instead of non conta niente. So you see a little different in the vowels. It doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter in Italian. Can be non importa, ma anche non conta niente, non vale. Non conta niente literally means it doesn't count anything. Friendly reminder, double negation, non niente stays negative, while in English would become positive. So it is literally, it doesn't count anything, and what it means that something doesn't count, that it doesn't matter, ok? Si crolla il mondo, instead of se crolla il mondo, you see another L becoming an R. If the world collapses, io ma ricordo. Io mi ricordo. I remember solo di te. And this is just like in Italian. Only you. So, it doesn't matter at all, or it doesn't matter at all if the world collapses. Implied because I remember, or I for connection, meaning connection, because I have in my mind only you, okay? And then we have the chorus. Damme una mano, dammi una mano, give me a hand, help me, se no me moro, se no muoio, which while in Italian it is not reflexive, in romanesco it is. So give me a hand or I die. Damme una mano, dammi una mano, give me a hand, che c'ho nel cuore, che c'ho nel cuore, because I have in my heart soltanto te, only you. Solo e soltanto can be in certain case used one instead of the other, like they are interchangeable, my bad. So as you can see, the pre-chorus is damme una mano, che c'ho nel cuore solo una donna e una canzone, non conta niente, si crolla il mondo, io ma ricordo solo di te. While in Italian it would be dammi una mano, che c'ho nel cuore solo una donna e una canzone, non conta niente, se crolla il mondo, io mi ricordo solo di te. And the chorus, damme una mano, si no me moro, damme una mano, che c'ho nel cuore soltanto te. While in Italian would be dammi una mano, se no muoio. Dammi una mano, che c'ho nel cuore soltanto te. Now, here the whole thing about help me is because I want to be with you, but you play with me. And we are going to see this better explained in the verse 2. Io e te, you and me, or you and I, or me and you, per tutta la vita. In Italian, io e te, it is I and you, like me and you, but we use I. Usually in English is me and you or you and I. So, per tutta la vita, for the whole life, because this is a literal translation to give you the perspective of the fact that it is the whole of life, because it's tutta. Te lo giuro, I swear to you, ma incrocio le dita, but I keep my fingers crossed. Now, I sincerely don't remember if in English there's also this nuance this little distinction. So I'm going to explain. Incrociare le dita, crossing fingers, both in English and in Italian, it can mean I wish you good luck in a certain way. For example, a friend comes and says, tomorrow I have an interview for a job I really care about. In English, we can say fingers crossed. So, I hope it goes well. According to the same reasonment, in Italian we can answer incrocio le dita per te, or dita incrociate, which is exactly like in English. However, this cannot be true according to the context. For example, in this case, it doesn't mean I hope the best for you. It means I am lying. Because when someone crosses their fingers behind their back while saying something, it means they are lying. So he says, we'll be together forever, I swear to you, but I'm actually lying because I'm crossing my fingers while telling you that. Sono il classico uomo italiano. I'm the classic Italian man. And here, and even before, because he's saying I'm lying because I am the classic Italian man. And as the classic Italian man, I also do the following things. I wouldn't be very pleased as an Italian man, but luckily I'm a woman. Amo solo mia madre Anna Rita. I only love my mother Anna Rita because stereotypes about Italian men. They lie mainly concerning romantic life and relationships. They will always love their mother more than you, dear wife. I'm not even thinking about husband because the true Italian man, of course, cannot be homosexual, okay? La domenica ti lascio sola. On Sundays, little note in Italian, when we mean that we do something on the same day every week, we keep the singular, we say la domenica, not le domeniche, which would be plural. While in English we have on Sundays, so plural. I leave you alone. Vuoi andare a cena? Ma c'è la partita. You want to go, implied out for dinner, but there's the implied football or soccer match. Because in Italian, football or soccer is so predominant that if we say c'è la partita, it is 100% sure football or soccer. Unless you are in my house. In that case, it's volleyball. Tu mi aspetti nel letto nervosa. You wait for me in bed nervous. Parli poco. You don't talk much. Fai la stranita. You act strange. So, let's review this painting of the true Italian man. They lie about their relationship. They lie to their women. So they are liars. They love their mother more than everything else. They are the only thing counting in their lives. Every Sunday they go watch the football or soccer match, even if their partner wants to go out and spend some time with them, making them angry. So they tell you that they love you, but they are actually lying because their mother and football or soccer will be always more important than you. That's why I'm saying I would be a bit offended as an Italian man, but it is what it is. So we have our protagonist in bed with their lover, representing Roma. And here we have the great class distinguishing Tony Effe because he's a gentleman. So he's going to talk about having sex. Poi mi tocchi, then you touch me, te ne fotti, you don't give a fuck. About consent, about the fact that you were angry and upset until 5 seconds ago, I have no clue, guys. Vai più giù, mi si girano gli occhi. You go farther down, my eyes roll. It would be better to put a comma here and put it like that because at least you can understand better. Poi mi guardi, then you look at me. Togli i tacchi, because of course, true Italian woman, even in the house with high heels. You take off your heels. Usually, when we mean tacchi, it is kinda implied that it's the high heels. So these, for extension, you take off your shoes. Mentre ti fai i capelli raccolti, while you do your hair up. This is like the closest translation I could get, as in like you had your hair untied and you tie them up like this. Do I have to explain this? I think I don't. If you need explanation, ask in the comments, or even better on Discord so I don't risk to get banned. Anyway. A te piace sbagliare. You like to make mistakes. Farmi del male, to hurt me. Thank you, Alex, for the mighty explanation. Mi alzi le mani. You raise your hands at me. At me implied. Implied by me, because you raise your hands at me. Poi ti vuoi scusare. Then you want to apologize. E so che perderò questo gioco. And I know I'll lose this game. Come a carte, sei bravo a barare. Like at cards, you are good at cheating. So we have a beautiful description of a very healthy relationship where we have the Italian man TM lying, putting above everything his mother at the first place, and the second place football or soccer. Coming back home late night, upsetting their companion, their partner, but the partner doesn't give a shit. The partner is going to have sex and there is a commitment about it. Consent, what's that? We don't do that. This imagining Tony Effe. I mean, like, is it really necessary to do this cheap description of what you watch in your free time to do what we know what you do? I don't think so. And then after having sex, of course, violence, because cherry on top of the toxic relationship. Beautiful. And then we have again the pre-chorus. Damme una mano, give me a hand, che c'ho nel core, because I have in my heart. Solo una donna, only one woman, e una canzone, and one song. Non conta niente, it doesn't matter at all, si crolla il mondo. If the world collapses, io ma ricordo, I remember, solo di te, only you. Like, in my mind, I have only you. Then we have one last chorus, just like we had one last pre-chorus. Damme una mano, give me a hand, sin nome moro, ora dai. Damme una mano, give me a hand, che c'ho nel core, because I have in my heart, soltanto te, only you. Only if it's not Sunday, because in that case I have the football or soccer match to watch or to play. Choices. And of course, not when it's my mother is involved, because my mother is above everything else in my life. Like, uber alles. And then we end with an outro. And do you remember when I told you, keep in mind what's in the intro? This is the reason why I told you that. Io ho sofferto per te. I suffered for you. Ora so fare l'attore. Now I know how to be an actor. Because I lie about my life, because I learn from you to adopt toxic behavior in relationships, because you taught me how to lie, generally speaking. I have no clue, but generally the interpretation, it is not positive in my opinion. Quante volte ho sbagliato? How many times have I made mistakes? Come un uomo d'onore, like a man of honor. Accendo la sigaretta. I light a cigarette, like the cigarette actually. I know that in English technically you say I light a cigarette, but in Italian is accendo la sigaretta, is to give you the perspective. Penso alla nostra storia. I think about our history. Here I would say it is always storia, but I would say history in this case because the idea here, it is ended, it is in the past, okay? So it has different nuances in Italian. To show you the nuances, I changed the word because there is this evolution between the intro and the outro. Mentre guardo la notte, as I look at the night, per le strade di Roma, in the streets of Rome. Yeah, the vibe wanted to be romantic, but I don't know. I'm too attached to my healthy behavior to find this romantic. Anyway, so outro and intro comparison. Io non soffro per te. I don't suffer for you. But at the end, I do suffer for you. Io ho sofferto per te. Like, I suffered for you. Non so fare l'attore. I don't know how to be an actor. But now, at the end, I know, after being with you, I know how to be an actor. So fare l'attore. Sono pronto a sbagliare. I'm ready to make mistakes. But now I already made mistakes. Quante volte ho sbagliato? How many times have I made mistakes? Come un uomo d'onore is the same. Spengo la sigaretta. I put out the cigarette. But now I light the cigarette. Accendo la sigaretta. Okay, usually give the light, accendere. Take away the light, spegnere. Come la nostra storia. Penso alla nostra storia because now it is past. So I at the beginning, the relationship, the situationship, the thing they had was about to end, like he wanted to end it at least. And here, like, he's thinking about it. So it is ended, but he can't stop thinking about it. Ogni notte per sempre per le strade di Roma. Every night is forever on the streets of Rome, while at the end I look at the night in the streets of Rome. So there is this mirroring between the intro and the outro. And this was pretty much everything about the lyrics. Now, and here, here, ho ho ho, hi hi hi, ho ho ho. Now, it is drama time, and there is a lot. Yeah, okay. Where to even start? Okay, let's start with the song. The song was criticized during Sanremo Music Festival because it was a little combo. Okay. As I said, Tony Effe sings part of the song in Romanesco, the dialect from Rome. But the melody and the structure of the song and the theme of the song is what we learn, thanks to Serena Brancale, to call neomelodico, neomelodic, which is the type of music, the genre, typical from Naples, and in fact, neomelodic songs are usually in Napoletan, the dialect spoken in Naples. And they usually have the rhythm of this song and also the theme, the vibe. So this song is very neomelodic, but it doesn't use Napolitan. It doesn't use Napoletano. It uses Romanesco. So we have neomelodic, but in Romanesco. To be fair, he wasn't the first one doing this thing because the style, as I explained, is pretty close to the one of Califano. Okay. But during the first exhibition of Sanremo Music Festival, you can find it in the resources in the description, he had a very peculiar outfit with certain accessories, really remembering a mafia boss from Sicily. And in fact, not everyone was happy about this combo of canzone neomelodica, so neomelodic song, which was supposed to be in Napoletano, but it actually was in Romanesco, dressed as a mafia guy from Sicily. It was a combo I guess nobody was expecting. So that was one of the topics of discussion concerning Tony Effe. Another one, always concerning Sanremo Music Festival, he can't really sing. So basically, like everyone was pretty much joking about the fact that, and I'm not making this up, he took singing lessons, like he took lessons to understand how to sing. And despite that, he, oh my god, Alex, help, how do you say stonare? Because basically he messed up the song, not much, a little bit. Okay. This is not what I was looking for, but thanks, Alex, best assistant ever. Anyway, when in Italian you say stonare, it means that you don't sing the song properly, as in you miss the notes. Okay, you get the wrong notes. Now I can't. It doesn't come to mind how to say it in English. Yeah, it was off note, briefly, but it was also criticized because he was using auto-tune. So some people were like, how are you even able to be off, like to sing off, like to be off note, off rhythm and whatnot, even when you have the auto-tune, like unbearable. So it was criticized for that. Many criticized him because the criticism was he doesn't know how to sing. He's a trapper. He can't really sing. He wasn't. He shouldn't be there. And that was another drama portion. Then we have the Fedez drama, because as I explained in Fedez and in the videos, in the streams concerning the song of Achille Lauro and Fedez, the last element in the triumvirate, in the drama triumvirate, was Tony Effe. So what happened? Quick recap from what I said for Fedez. Fedez was married to one of the most famous Italian influencers, Chiara Ferragni. They had a very bad crisis after she was sentenced to pay a very heavy penalty because she was accused of fraud. Because she sold certain foods lying about them. Basically, she, her team, how you want to put it, formulated a marketing campaign making people think that the outcome of buying Pandori and Uova di Pasqua, so Easter egg and a specific type of cake, let's put it like that in Italy you eat for Christmas, would have generated income that would have been donated to hospitals and association for children. It wasn't true. She was sentenced to pay a heavy fine, which, in the purpose of this heavy fine was to give back all the money she made out of that campaign, because the whole marketing campaign was scammy, to put it simple. And when that happened, of course, many sponsors abandoned her because it wasn't good for the image of the company and whatnot. Okay, I am putting it simple because the situation is very complex. Again, learn Italian with drama. If you need sources and explanations, you can ask either in the comments or on Discord, and I'm going to provide you with spicy sources. So everything, all of this happened to the wife of Fedez. Fedez broke up with her. After that, like everyone started to insult Fedez because, like, oh yeah, your wife wasn't a good person, but you left her. Then we had people siding with Fedez, saying, oh, but actually, Chiara Ferragni is an awful person and whatnot. And during summer 2024, Tony Effe participated in a contest, I don't know, like an event organized by Red Bull called 64 bars. Anyway, the bars are the lines of a rap song piece. I'm not really much into rap, so I don't really know how to explain these things, but the bars are the portion, like the lines you say when you rap. And the point of rapping often is to criticize or to diss other rappers or other people. Okay, I have to be honest, if you are fans of US rap concerning people like Eminem, don't expect anything like that, like lower your your hopes and dreams, but like very, very, very low. Like I wouldn't even dream about putting Italian rappers on the same level of the top US rappers. Okay, there is a a canyon in the middle. Thanks, Alex. In musical notation, a bar or measure is a segment of music bounded by vertical lines, known as bar lines or bar lines, usually indicated one or more recurring beats. Used often in rap. So, yeah. But the point was what Tony Effe said in these bars. And long story short, he dissed Fedez because also Fedez as well is a rapper. So, this happened. Fedez replied, and Tony Effe replied with another song, which was titled Chiara. Or like they dissed each other. Like, I don't remember exactly the sequence of the events. Again, you want to learn Italian with drama? Let me know. I'm going to provide you with sources, a lot of videos about these guys. I can provide a ton of videos concerning these stories because podcast over podcast, videos over videos made concerning this point with quotes from the songs. The songs are available also on YouTube. Please don't ask me to analyze them because I would die of cringe. But yeah, basically it was Fedez and Tony Effe arguing about the wife of Fedez. Long story short. And so everyone was like, oh my god, they are going to beat each other up in the backstage of Sanremo Music Festival because they are both together. Oh my god, who knows what is going to happen. I knew since the beginning nothing wouldn't happen. I was certain because our rappers are at least a good number of it. It's like what it said in the rap game stays there. They are not going to kill each other. Like, I was sure nothing would have happened because it is all about the dissing on the social media. Probably, I don't even know if it was organized or what, I'll be honest. So, yeah. And that was another thing. Nothing happened. Like, it was quite quiet Sanremo Music Festival this year in 2025. That said, other gossip concerning Tony Effe. Yeah, the one I was mentioning concerning the misogyny. Where to start? Now, let's start like this. In Italy, to celebrate New Year's Eve and New Year's, many cities in Italy organize concerts. Okay, so each cities organizes, not every town in Italy, but surely all the main cities, so all the main cities for each region, they do it. There are also secondary cities, like it depends on the mayor, but at least in the main cities, the mayor says, okay, on New Year's Eve, in the night between the 31st of December and the 1st of January, to celebrate the beginning of the new year, we have to organize a concert. Who do we call? Because usually you have 3 or 4 singers alternating each other or going one after the other to sing their songs. Of course, one of the most famous concerts is the one set in Rome. because it's the capital. So usually the problem is who is going to sing in Rome? For the New Year's Eve 2024, beginning of the year 2025, so right now as I'm talking, the most recent New Year's Eve, Rome decided to invite for the concert, we call it concerto di fine anno, the concert of the end of the year. Among the singers, they decided to invite Tony Effe. And oh my, when the news spread around, many people in Rome were not happy about it. And you might tell me, oh, but I mean, why weren't they happy? Yeah, maybe he's not the best at singing, but maybe he's good at rapping, or maybe he's good at trapping. The problem wasn't even his talent as a singer. The problem was the lyrics of his songs. Why am I saying this? I invite you to check the most popular songs of Tony Effe. The lyrics are very simple, so I'm sure you're going to understand. Of course, not when he sings, because when he sings, he's not the clearless to understand. I get this. But if you go and check out the lyrics, they are quite easy to understand in Italian. And it's quite easy to understand why they are problematic. And the problem is pretty much misogyny. Because to be fair, just to quote one of his line, it was something like prendo una bitch e la faccio principessa, which literally translates as I take a bitch and I make her into a princess. And this is probably one of the lightest one I can say on YouTube without being banned or demonetized. So yeah, this was an example. I think it is pretty clear. So, if I remember correctly, an association of feminists set in like from Rome asked for his exclusion from the concert, and incredibly, to be fair, I wasn't expecting that. The mayor was like, oh my god, you are right. Fuck you, Tony Effe. Out of the concert. Now, the other singers invited to the concert. One was Mahmoud, if I remember correctly. I don't remember the other one. It was a woman though. They retired as well, like they rejected the invite to the concert because they said that is not correct. As a singer, you should be able to sing about whatever you want. If your music is so controversial and offensive, simply you won't get any audience. Now, here it opens a type of discussion that I don't even, I always think as a jurist, professional deformation. And to be fair, here it is a problem, because if you say, okay, you can sing anything about that is sexist or glorifying crime or talking in a positive way about something that is potentially dangerous, like taking drugs, drinking alcohol, abusing substances in general, not only drugs, telling stories of unhealthy relationships. Like, you understand that, for example, you should ban 19% of rap because of how the genre is built. And there is really no answer, because on one side there are people saying no, talking in a positive way about certain themes is wrong. So, for example, you can't mention mafia. You can't talk in a positive way concerning crime. It is a problem that certain genres treat always women like objects, because this is a matter of fact. Hey, what do you do? Do you censor? Because in a certain way it was a form of censorship, that one. Others say no, because if this was really a problem, people wouldn't just listen, which was pretty much the answer the other singers gave. And the other singers, mainly from the same label of Tony Effe, because of course, or like with the same manager, clearly because they were obliged by the manager, said, okay, we are not going to take his place because we need to protect, we need to unionize a singer against censorship, because you never know when it could happen to us. Again, was correct what the mayor of Rome did? To be fair, I don't have an answer for you. The answer is very complex. There's no yes or no, personally. Is this going to solve anything? I absolutely think not. I personally think, also because of what I studied, that censorship never works. It is an easy, not even remedy, because censorship never solves anything. It is a palliative. So what looks like a remedy, but that long term doesn't have any effect. On the other hand, everyone starts to say, now nobody is going to take the place of Tony Effe, so you need to learn that censorship is not okay. No, like Gabri Ponte went and made the concert or something alongside with other artists, because other artists didn't give a flying fuck about Tony Effe. And that was another drama. To this drama was related that is it correct to invite artists like Tony Effe to Sanremo Music Festival? Because many said, how is it possible that Tony Effe is not wasn't considered appropriate for the New Year's concert, but it is considered appropriate for the Sanremo Music Festival? Incoherence, hypocrisy, could be. I cannot deny it, to be fair. Was he there just because of the audience he has, just because of the drama with Fedez? Is it correct to invite someone that can't even sing? This was also applied to other singers, by the way. There was a whole thing about only using the autotune, like, I don't even start about the autotune, also because some of the artists in the participating in Sanremo Music Festival 2025 complained about the autotune. The thing about the autotune is an evergreen. But also like, oh, but he can't even sing, his lyrics are very cheap, often even offensive. Others even said, but is it even does it even make sense to invite a rapper? Like, isn't rap supposed to be underground, so there's no place for rap in on the stage of Sanremo, because Sanremo, it is supposed to be mainstream? These are all questions that, to be fair, don't really have an answer. It is more about personal sensibility, and that's it. But to put the long story short, many people weren't happy about Tony Effe being in Sanremo Music Festival. They weren't happy before, they weren't happy during the festival, and they are not happy now after. So that was it. That was everything I had to say about Damme Mano by Tony Effe, and pretty much about Tony Effe participating in Sanremo. Remember to tell me what you think about this song, and a bit what happened in Sanremo and everything around, because I understand is controversial, so it is also understandable to have opinions about it without insulting each other, of course. That said, I hope you enjoyed. Grazie everyone for watching, and arrivederci.